Justin from Hans Wargaming. Just giving you a little update on my Alien Hives army and how my 3D printing process has kind of evolved since I started a few weeks ago. So the first thing you'll notice is that I started spraying the models down after washing them. This is to try and get any extra residue and gunk off of them. It seems to be doing a pretty good job so far, but I am planning on getting a secondary bin that I'm going to have like the dirtiest alcohol in, and that's going to be my first dunk tank, and then I'm going to kind of finalize it in the one that actually spins and does the wash cycle. And then hopefully that tank will stay a lot cleaner and I won't have to change the alcohol out nearly as much. I also started putting the models in these little containers, partially filled with water. I've been trying to find a container that's a lot taller and rounder that I could fit more water in. That's the only reason that they're like partially submerged. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get the models fully submerged in water, because supposedly that's a lot more efficient for the UV light. Like it hits all the little like cracks and crevices. There's a couple of videos on YouTube kind of going into how that's a better option compared to just not using water, but it seemed to make sense to me, and it seems to be working pretty well. So that's what I've been doing. Yeah, like I said, I'm trying to find a better container for this. That's why obviously this container isn't ideal because it kind of like hits the sides, but having a container to put stuff in also keeps the spinny tray from getting resin all over it, because that gets dirty and sticky pretty easily, and it's kind of a pain to clean. So yeah, what I do is I just put the prints in that little tray, run the UV for 10 minutes, flip them around, run it for another 10 minutes, then I take them off the supports, and then I usually put them in for another 5 minutes. And I will say with the Anycubic black resin that I've been using, I have not had any issues, at least with these models, with like having the supports break any piece of the model off. For the most part, they come off pretty easily. I think that's partially due to the type of resin that I'm using. It's a little more flexible, and also the pre-supported models have pretty small tips on the supports. It makes it a lot easier to remove those supports when the tips are just like really small. But yeah, I'm still pretty new to this, and I'm learning, so that's just an observation that I've made. With this guy, I used some Elegoo gray resin. I was using that for another project, which I have a video coming out on next week. I was using that for a lot of the stuff I printed out for that project, and I had some extra. So this resin, it's not nearly as flexible, so I decided to mostly use it for larger, thicker pieces, and it works pretty well for that. One thing I will say is that the black resin does have quite an odor to it after it's been cured, and this stuff does not. So it's kind of like a give and take. The next bottle of resin that I'm going to get is going to be eco resin. So I actually ordered that today, and I'm going to be trying that out with future prints. None of the joints really fit together that well in this little kit here, which is why in the future I'm going to try and print things pre-assembled as much as I can. Most of the Alien Hives models are pretty much already combined, but a few of them aren't. And printing them at full scale isn't really an option for me because they won't fit on my printer. So I'm kind of stuck doing this. I'm using my Dremel here to try and wet sand these. Yeah, one thing I will say is I'm going to try and do this inside a box or something next time to minimize the splattering, because yeah, you can't really see it, but there was a fair amount of splattering. And I would say absolutely wear some goggles or something if you're going to do this, because you do not want this stuff in your eyes. So in the next video, I think I'm going to be trying out the resin welding technique, just using a UV flashlight. I'm hoping that works well, because I really wasn't happy with using super glue. It just doesn't really join this stuff very well. I don't know if maybe using an accelerator would help, but yeah, it's just, it's not the best. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed seeing my progress so far on this army. I'm hoping to get some of these guys based and maybe put some paint on these models here over the next couple weeks. Maybe get some of the bigger models printed out and assembled. If you enjoy content like this, I'd appreciate it if you would like and subscribe. That would help me out a lot. I'm going to be doing more 3D printing and tutorials, and I'm hoping to do some battle reports possibly in the future, if that sounds like something you're interested in. Either way, I hope you have a good day, and I will see you later.